Yo, what's good, beautiful people? We are here with part 7 of Condensed Chaos by Phil Hine. Welcome, witches, wizards, warlocks, sorcerers, fairies, elves, gnomes, even Bigfoot be here watching this. So check your Wi-Fi signal, he'd be stealing that. Let's go. The current up-and-coming paradigm is the cybernetic model, as we swing into being an information-based culture. This model says that the universe, despite appearances, is stochastic in nature. Magic is a set of techniques for rousing a neurological storm in the brain which brings about microscopic fluctuations in the universe, which lead eventually to macroscopic changes in accordance with the magician's intent. See chaos science, the butterfly effect, and all that good stuff. Now, another manifestation of the cybernetic model coming to the fore is the New Age assertion that crystals work just like computer chips. There are signs that the cybernetic model dovetails back into the spirit model, and once you get past the mathematical proofs and weird jargon, the model does display a simple elegance. Each model has its own attractive glamour with exponents or opponents on either side. Many occult textbooks contain elements of the spirit, energy, and psychological models quite happily. Should you ever find yourself in the position of having to explain all this weird stuff to a non-aficionado or skeptic, then the psychological model is probably your best bet. These days, people who ascribe to the spirit model, if they are not of a pagan or occult persuasion themselves, tend to think that they have an exclusive copyright over the use of spirits. If the person is a computer buff or a fractal freak, then by all means, go for the cyberpunk paradigm. Scientists only tend to accept something if a scientific rationale can be wheeled up. Acupuncture, for example, was until recently explained using the energy model and booed by the scientific establishment until someone came up with the endorphin stimulation. Now, most hospital physiotherapy departments have themselves a set of needles. While some magicians tend to stick to one favourite model, it is useful to shift among them as the situation befits. Some models have a stronger explaining power and account for some aspects of magic better than others. The spirit model, by far the oldest, can account for just about any aspect of magic. The psychological model, while being useful for looking at magic as a process for personal development, has difficulty with situations such as tribal shamans cursing Westerners who A. don't believe in magic, B. didn't see the shaman squinting at them, and C. break out in hives anyway. If you use only one magical model, sooner or later the universe will present you with something that won't fit your parameters. When you are spending more time defending your models than modifying them, then you know it's time for another spot of deconditioning. Report to room 101. Ooh, we're into chapter 2, Magic in the Material World. The 19th century revivalists of magic have bequeathed to us the magical children, a false dichotomy of high magic and low magic. High magic is about becoming more spiritual, and low magic, or sorcery, is merely the manipulation of the mundane material world. The philosophical roots of this dichotomy lie in post-Enlightenment Christianity, wherein a wedge was driven between the spiritual, the domain of the church, and the temporal, the playground of the emerging scientists. The occult revivals of the last century sought to reconcile the spiritual yearning with the new power of science, while the power of the orthodox religion melted in flames of war, rapid social change, and the rise of technology. Oddly enough, it is science itself once the enemy of the spiritual impulse, which now offers reconciliation. The revolutions of quantum physics and nonlinear dynamics are now returning us to the awareness, long hidden, that the world is magical. That we are, as Alan Moore so eloquently put it, unpredictable beyond the dreams of Heisenberg. And I don't mean Breaking Bad's Heisenberg. The traditional high magicians created towering edifices in abstract space, which they used to climb towards their idea of Godhead, seeking transcendence from the embrace of the material world. A few notables amongst these architects of the spirit have spectacularly fallen from the heights they scaled, and biographers have provided us with neat encapsulations of their blazing passions, while legions of clerkish scribblers still present us with gleanings of their visions, their notations, and their systems. But their time has passed. Magic is no longer the domain of the wealthy, and we need no utterances from rebel angels to announce the uncertainty of the future. Although it is ever the folly of the young to sneer at the mistakes of their forebears, let us not forget that, in essence, their magics worked, that we are here. Even now, I feel the stirrings of the next generation of Magi, and it is my fervent hope that they too will surpass the present generation, that they will not be seduced by the past, but will take magic forwards. Just as the transcendental emphasis of the 19th century Magi reflected the driving passions of their age, so too does contemporary magic show up the dominant characteristics of this latter end of the 20th century, a faith in technology and a magpie's view of culture. Alright, we're going to stop it there, and we will be back tomorrow with more goodness. Get your cauldrons bubbling, because tomorrow's going to be good.